All right, welcome to the webinar on planning a successful club speech contest. As Kitsy mentioned, my name is Aubrey Carrier, and I first joined Toastmasters in January 2011. So this is my 8-year anniversary month with Toastmasters. And the first time I participated in a contest was February 2011. So I got right into it. I was encouraged by my club members, and I had no idea what I was getting into, but it set me on a path of communication and leadership and opened up worlds for me that I had not expected. So I am really excited to see so many people on the call today to be learning about club contests, how they can benefit your club and your members. So a quick disclaimer before we get started. What I will be focusing on today is contests at the club level. Now, many of the concepts and best practices I'll be talking about will also apply to contests at other levels such as area, division, district, and so on. However, there are some additional eligibility requirements and restrictions. So if you are going to be participating in or helping to organize one of those contests at that level, please do consult the rulebook, and your final authority will be the contest rulebook and our program quality director, Kitsy Aviles. By the way, if you have questions throughout the seminar or webinar, please do type them into the chat. I will get to them as I can and address them at the end if possible. I see some people are having audio issues, so if you click the little phone icon, you should be able to connect to that. And thanks, Kitsy, for helping out with that. But for the objectives of today, we're going to talk about why we should hold contests in the first place, when contest season 2019 is going to happen, who are the key players who make your contest possible, what are the resources you need to carry out a smooth contest, and next steps and action items to get started on your contest this spring. So in the spirit of a famous TED Talk by Simon Sinek, we're going to start with why. Why hold a club contest? It takes time away from your regular meeting. It takes a lot of human power to organize and carry it out. And when it's all over, there will only be 1 or 2 people holding a trophy. So are contests really worth it? And who really benefits? Well, my philosophy is everyone can benefit from a contest and everyone can participate meaningfully in some way or another. The first group of people we typically think of as benefiting from contests are the contestants themselves. Contest gives us the opportunity to stretch and grow as speakers and to get in front of new audiences, to develop material they're working on and really see what they're capable of as communicators. The functionaries are able to develop leadership, teamwork, and collaboration skills that are transferable in so many other areas of our lives. The audience has the opportunity to learn and be inspired by the contestants who are competing at the top of their ability. And guests, even if they are not Toastmasters, can see the potential of Toastmasters in a fun and low-pressure setting. And everyone can participate by giving their contestants feedback and support as they move on to the next level of contests. So on to Club Contest Season 2019. Here's the time frame. Club contests happen in the month of February. The winners of the club contests go on to the area contest, which will happen in March. Those winners go on to the division contests, which happen in April. And the division winners go on to the District 4 Spring Contest, which is happening May 18th at the fabulous Foster City Crown Plaza. I hope you will all be there. And this is a photo of the International Speech Trophy of District 4. It could be your name or one of your club members' names on that trophy this spring. So the categories this spring, and this webinar is being recorded, so if you happen to be listening from a different district or at a future date, your details may be different, but here in District 4, Spring 2019, our categories this spring are Evaluation Contest and International Speech. For the Evaluation Contest, the objective is to give a classic 2 to 3 minute Toastmasters evaluation based on a test speech, which I'll talk about in more detail in a little while. In order to be eligible to compete in this category, a contestant must be a member in good standing of a club in good standing. This means that the member has paid dues to the club, and the club has also paid dues to Toastmasters International. So everyone is paid up on dues. And the contestant must not be an officer at the district level or higher. Club officers are fine. However, if you're an area director, division director, district finance manager, region advisor, etc., or a candidate for one of these roles, you may not compete. And typically, people who are in these roles know who they are, and they know that they are not supposed to be competing. So in general, if you are not in one of these roles and you are a paid member in good standing, then you are eligible to compete in the evaluation contest. And that's something that we're all familiar with from our regular meetings. So it's a great opportunity for newer Toastmasters to get involved in contests. The second category is international speech. The objective of this category is to give a speech on any topic of the speaker's choosing. The time frame is 5 to 7 minutes. So typical 5 to 7 minute speech, we're familiar with that, and any topic you can think of. Eligibility requirements are the same as the evaluation contest with one additional educational credential. The speaker must have completed at least 6 Competent Communicator speeches or a Pathways Level 2 of any path to be eligible to compete in this category. There is one exception for new clubs. If you are a charter member of a club that chartered less than 1 year before your area contest date, you can have that requirement waived and compete in the contest anyway, as long as you were a member in good standing. I'm going to pause. Any questions so far? Please type them in the chat box. Okay, frequently asked question. Why is it called the International Speech Contest? Does it have to be, oh, right on time, that question came in the chat box. Thank you so much. Why is it called the International Speech? Does it need to be on an international topic? Does it need to be in a different language? Why is it called international? And the reason why is that every other contest category in Toastmasters ends at the district level. But the international category is the only one that advances beyond the district. So after the district contest, the winner of the international speech goes on to the region quarterfinals. Those are new this year from Toastmasters International. And what will happen is the international contest at our district conference will be filmed. And whoever wins, the recording of the winner will be sent on to Toastmasters International and will be judged remotely. So it will be a virtual quarterfinals. The district winner is automatically entered and participating in the quarterfinals with no additional action on their part. The winners of the quarterfinals will move on to the semifinals at the Toastmasters Convention in August 2019 in Denver. And the winners of the semifinals will make it to the last round. The World Championship of Public Speaking happening this August in Denver, Colorado. This is a picture of Ramona Smith, who won the previous year in Chicago. So imagine it could be you or your club member standing there on the world stage. And when you think about international speech and what does that really mean? If you had 5 to 7 minutes to speak to the world, what would you say? But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, the road to that world stage begins right here at your club contest. And in order to hold a successful club contest, you need people. There are a number of contest roles, some specific to contests, and some that you'll recognize from regular meetings, although there are some changes to them in the contest setting. So first of all, who do we need to make a contest happen? We need contestants. Without them, the contest is not possible. So I see yes, the slides will get distributed after that. And this is my problem of tweaking my slides at the last minute. Contestants' job description is simply to compete. And their qualifications are to meet the eligibility requirements to compete. So moving on to test speaker. What is the test speaker? This is a special role we only see during the evaluation contest. The test speaker is a non-competing speaker who gives a 5 to 7 minute speech that the evaluation contestants will evaluate. Qualifications for a good test speaker. The test speaker should be someone the contestants do not know and have never heard speak before. This creates a fair environment for all contestants because they're all starting at 0. If it's someone they know, then they already have an idea of the person's ability. But for the purposes of the contest, you want to make sure that all contestants are starting at the same level and are equally unfamiliar with the test speaker. So think of the test speaker as a mystery guest. No one should know who they are ahead of time except for the Toastmaster. No one should know the title of their speech. No one should know the purpose of their speech ahead of time. Don't even put their name on the agenda. Think of them as a mystery guest. So ideally, the test speaker should be someone outside your club, should be someone who's an intermediate level speaker, someone who's experienced enough in Toastmasters that they're familiar with the classic Toastmaster style feedback and they can handle hearing it from multiple evaluators. Someone who can give your contestants a challenge, but someone who's not so advanced that they're intimidating and your evaluators don't have anything constructive to say. There are many benefits to being a test speaker. You get to speak in front of a new audience. You'll hear feedback on your speech from multiple skilled evaluators, and you can get credit for the speech you're giving. Just ask someone who's not competing to fill out the project evaluation form. So as you're thinking about competing in your own contest, think about possibly being a test speaker at someone else's contest. Kitsy comments, it's so much fun, and it's true. Test speaker is one of my favorite roles to do in a contest. How do you find a test speaker? Some good places to start are arrange a trade with a neighboring club. You send a member to go speak at their contest. They can send someone to come speak at your contest. Ask your area director for suggestions, because that person knows all the clubs in your immediate geographic area and may be able to help connect you with an appropriate person. You could also request guest speakers via the Speakers for Stage Time Google group. We have multiple Google groups, one that covers San Francisco and one that covers Peninsula and Silicon Valley. And you can find links to these also at d4tm.org. The question coming up, what is the purpose for the test speaker? The test speaker gives a 5 to 7 minute speech, and the evaluation contestants will evaluate that speech as the evaluation contest. One thing to keep in mind when you are finding your test speaker, make sure you have a backup plan. I have seen contests where the test speaker was late. I've seen contests where the test speaker got lost. Make sure that you have a backup in mind when you are looking for your test speaker. Any questions about the test speaker role? It's a little bit different than other speaking contests we have. Okay, There are also a number of behind-the-scenes roles at a contest. And when I gave this session at the TLI in December, I found myself repeating over and over again, this role, to be in this role, you must be impartial and you must be discreet. So my blanket statement for all contest functionaries are qualities that they need to have. They need to be impartial by giving all contestants fair and equal treatment. And they need to be discreet because they're likely coming into contact with sensitive information, and they need to be able to handle that responsibly. So general qualities for all contest functionaries: be impartial and be discreet. The most important functionary at any contest is the chief judge. The chief judge is the busiest person at the contest, working behind the scenes to coordinate the voting judges, the timer and the ballot counters, and manage paperwork to ensure a fair and impartial contest. You make sure the votes get counted, you make sure the timing report is reviewed, and you make sure that the contest chair gets the correct results at the end of the contest. It's critical for this person to be organized, focused, have good time management skills, and to be discreet. This is not a role where you can succeed by winging it or learning on the job. The chief judge needs to thoroughly understand their job ahead of time. I could give an entire training talking about the chief judge role, and actually I am going to do that 2 weeks from tonight in another webinar, where I'll be talking about judges and chief judges at contests, and I'll share the details of that at the end of this session. So if you want a deeper dive on those subjects, stay tuned. The people the chief judge works with are voting judges. At a club contest, you should have at least 5 of them, plus a tiebreaker. The job of the voting judges is to evaluate and rank the contestants on the ballot, keeping the ballot information confidential. And this is standard evaluation skills that we learn in Toastmasters. You're just applying it in a contest setting. Like every other speech project, the contestants have a ballot that state the objectives of what they're expected to be doing, and the judges use that to evaluate and rank the contestants. At the club level, a voting judge must be a member in good standing who is not competing in the contest. Keep in mind that at other levels of contest, such as area and division, there are more requirements to be a voting judge, but at the club level, all you have to be is a member in good standing who is not already competing. So once the judges have filled out their ballots, we need someone to count those ballots, who are the ballot counters. And the rulebook recommends having 3 ballot counters. What the ballot counters do is collect ballots from the voting judges after each round of competition. They'll work with the chief judge to tally the votes and add everything up and complete the tally sheet. So qualifications are basic arithmetic skills, attention to detail, but most importantly, discretion. What happens in the ballot counting room stays in the ballot counting room. The decisions of the judges must be kept confidential, and that is to protect the judges, to protect the contestants, to ensure a fair and positive contest experience for everyone. Timers. We are used to timers at a regular club meeting. And if your club is anything like mine, the timer role can sometimes be a little bit casual. Have you ever heard a timer say, "Oh, I was so caught up in the speech, I forgot to look at the clock"? Well, in a contest situation, timing needs to be monitored very carefully to ensure a fair experience for all contestants. So you need someone who has experience with the timer role, who can give consistent timing signals to each contestant to stay focused, and to report the time accurately. If any timer errors do occur, whether it's with timing device or the timer misses putting up a signal when they should, the contestant gets 30 seconds extra grace period without being disqualified. But I'm going to pause here for a minute to talk about the number of club contest functionaries as recommended by the rulebook. 5 voting judges plus a tiebreaker, 3 ballot counters, and 2 timers. Now, some of you at this point may be thinking, my club is small. That's a lot of people. Those numbers are really adding up. I'm not sure if I can fill all those roles. Well, if you look at the contest rulebook, it requests all of these numbers with the qualifier, unless impractical. So if you don't have enough people to fill all these roles, my recommendation is prioritize those voting judges. In my opinion, you can get by with just 1 timer. You can get by with just 1 ballot counter. But you do want to have a strong and robust judging panel to make sure that the contestants are judged fairly and you have a diverse, strong number of judges to ensure that the contestants get a fair judge. So use your discretion as you are arranging roles in your own contest. Contest chair. A contest chair coordinates the overall event, such as booking the venue, arranging refreshments, promoting the contest, etc. They may also help recruit participants and also delegate tasks and lead participants, such as working with a refreshments chair, working with a registration chair, overall event planning. The contest chair should be someone with strong organizational skills, strong teamwork, collaboration, and motivational skills. Contest Toastmaster. Again, we're familiar with the Toastmaster role from our regular meetings. And just as in our regular meeting, the Toastmaster leads the contest, briefing the contestants ahead of time, introduces all the contestants, and interviews them after the contest is over and you're waiting for the results to come in. Here's the difference of what a Toastmaster would do in a contest versus a regular meeting. The contest Toastmaster must treat all contestants absolutely equally. That means everyone must get the same introduction, such as, please welcome contestant number 1, Kitsy Aviles. Best speech ever. Best speech ever. Kitsy Aviles. And every contestant must be introduced that same way. Just name, title, title, name. No mention that, oh, Kitsy's a DTM, she's president of her home club, she's also a level 4 in Pathways. All of these things start to create bias in the minds of the judges and the participants. Not all contestants are going to be at the same level. So in order to create a fair environment, they all must have the same basic introduction. Also, the Toastmaster must not make any transitional comments about the speeches, such as remarking on, Kitsy, thanks for that great speech. It was hilarious. I'm sure the audience loved it too. No comments like that. Again, that's creating an idea that the Toastmaster is biased in favor of some contestants more than others. So it's important for the Toastmasters to step back and really let the contestants shine. This is their day, their time to shine, and it's really the Toastmaster's job to help showcase them as much as possible. The Toastmaster should be someone who's experienced enough that they can be flexible and spontaneous in case of any last-minute agenda changes, which do happen, or if there's extra time to fill while you're waiting for the ballots to be counted and the final results to come in. So you want someone who's experienced enough that they won't freeze up if something unexpected happens. Sergeant-at-Arms, again a role we're familiar with. A Sergeant-at-Arms will give the call to order and general housekeeping announcements such as, please silence your phones, here's where you can find the restrooms, etc. But the special job that the Sergeant-at-Arms has during the evaluation contest is they are going to escort the contestants in and out of the room. Here's the way the contest works. There will be a test speaker, will give a classic 5 to 7 minute speech, and the contestants are welcome to take notes during that time on paper. When this test speech is over, the Sergeant-at-Arms will escort the evaluation contestants out of the room for 5 minutes. During that 5-minute time, the Toastmaster will interview the test speakers so the audience gets a chance to know them. Meanwhile, the evaluation contestants will get 5 minutes to work on their notes. At the end of that 5 minutes, the Sergeant-at-Arms collects all the notes and leads the contestants back into the room one at a time to compete. So that way, the evaluation contestants don't hear anyone who competes before them. They only hear people who come after them. So they can't be influenced by what contestants who competed ahead of them said about the speaker. Any questions on that? The Sergeant-at-Arms also returns the notes to each contestant as they are stepping back into the contest space to compete. So it's very important for the Sergeant-at-Arms to be attentive to detail during this portion of the contest, be able to keep track of the order of speakers, and be able to follow the contest script. All right, so you've heard about the many people involved in making the contest happen. Moving on to contest structure and flow. What contestants and functionaries should be doing before, during, and after the contest? So before your contest, promote your contest. Promote to your members. Promote to your potential members. Promote to your friends. Promote to anyone who could benefit from attending the contest and learning more about your club and more about the benefits of Toastmasters. Prepare a script and agenda. I'll be linking to resources shortly where you can find a downloadable script, downloadable briefing scripts for the Chief Judge and Toastmaster that will help walk you through every step of the contest, which you can customize for your own club and situation. Collect paperwork from contestants and judges. These are eligibility statements stating that everybody who is a judge and a contestant is eligible to perform in this role. And you can also get a contestant statement, a short biographical statement that can help you out when you are interviewing the contestants at the end of the contest. And here's an important one. Determine speaking order. Usually the Toastmaster does this shortly before the contest, gets all contestants together, explains the basic rules to them, and determines the speaking order, usually by drawing lots, drawing straws, picking cards, some random and fair way to select the speaking order for the contestants. During the contest, I can't stress it enough, please use and follow the contest script, which you can find at d4tm.org, link coming shortly. Again, customize the script to fit your situation and your team, and ensure your major functionaries are familiar with it. Keep a printed copy of the rulebook available for reference in case you need it, or have it up and ready to search on your favorite mobile device, because you never know when you might need to consult the official word of Toastmasters. After your contest, report the results to the organizer of the contest at the next level. If you're in a club contest, this will be your area director. So give the area director your winners' names and contact information as they prepare for the area contest. Recognize and appreciate participants. While it's important to keep the judges anonymous, please do recognize everyone else publicly who participated, the timers, the ballot counters, the Sergeant-at-Arms, your test speaker especially, and send an email or follow-up message thanking everybody who participated in any way, because this is how we get paid in Toastmasters, through recognition and feedback. Speaking of which, give your club champions constructive feedback as they prepare for the next level. This is something that everyone can participate with. Prepare to support your champions at the next level. As someone who has competed myself, I can assure you that when you are going to the next level of the contest, whether it's area or further, it makes a huge difference to see friendly, familiar faces from your club in the audience cheering you on. So save the date when that next contest is happening and plan to be there. Volunteer at your area and division contests. You've seen how many people it takes to make a contest happen, and your area and division directors will be looking for volunteers to help support contests at that level. When I started volunteering as a functionary at contests, I met many amazing people, some of whom became people who are friends and mentors to this day. So it's a great networking opportunity as well as being fun and a good leadership development opportunity. Contest resources. Places to visit the D4TM contest resources page. This includes the script and all contest forms you will need for the upcoming contest season. The speech contest rulebook from Toastmasters International and additional contest tutorials from TI. At this point, I am going to pause and open up questions and answers. So if there are any questions, please go ahead and type them into the chat box. Okay, question that came in. You mentioned the Toastmaster needs to be prepared for the unexpected. What kind of unexpected situations come up in the context of a contest? So the main unexpected situations that I have seen in contests are changes in the agenda. As I mentioned, I've seen situations where the test speaker for the evaluation contest got lost and was late, so we ended up switching and having the other contest category first and the evaluation contest second. So in that case, the Toastmaster needs to be flexible enough to coordinate with, first of all, with the international contestants to make sure they're all here and accounted for and ready to go, and to communicate to the audience and other functionaries what is happening. Now, other unexpected situations that may come up, imagine that it takes an extra long time for the ballot counters to finish bringing back the results. So the Toastmaster has some time to fill. What they could do is continue to interview the contestants. That could just keep asking the contestants questions to entertain the audience. They could make any relevant announcements about perhaps the area contest or events coming up at the club level. So the most unexpected situations that come up are changes to the agenda of that nature. Another question that came up, was there a 3-speech rule for evaluations in the past? So I'm assuming that means in order to qualify for the evaluation contest, you must have completed 3 speeches. I am not aware of that, so it may have been an older rule. But as of now, there are no education or credential requirements to participate in the evaluation contest. So another question that came up, how often should a club hold the contest at club level? That is a great question because the answer is really, you can hold contests whenever you want. However, district only holds contests once a year, which is now in the spring. So while you can hold club contests anytime you want, your club champions would not have anywhere to go after they win. It's only during the official spring contest season that the winners would advance to the area, division, district, etc. contests. But if you want to hold practice contests, I am all in favor of that. So question, if a person does a PowerPoint for their speech, must they take their own slides for originality? So that's a great point. For the international speech, again, it's a topic of any topic of the speaker's choosing. And one of the requirements for that speech is that it must be at least 80% original. And if the speaker quotes from another source or uses any material directly from another source, they must cite that source in the course of their speech. So I would recommend that they do make their own slides, because otherwise they might find their originality challenged. Feel free to continue typing questions into the chat box, but I'm going to move on to action items and next steps. So first of all, set a date for your contest if you haven't already. You need a lot of buy-in and commitment from other people in your club, and it is hard to get that if you can't give them a date. So get that together with your officer team, with the rest of your club, find the best date, get it on the calendar, and promote, promote, promote. Make sure everyone knows when the contest is happening, where the contest is happening, and who's going to be there, and get people excited. This could be an open house opportunity for you. Make it as festive as you can. Provide refreshments if you have budget for it. Invite everyone you can think of who could benefit from learning more about contests and Toastmasters. Something to keep in mind as you are planning and setting a date is that contests take time. So if your club meeting has strict time constraints, for example, if you're a lunchtime meeting and you only have 1 hour, you might consider reserving 2 dates for your contest and hold the evaluation contest on one day and the international contest on another day to make sure that you get all the contestants in. And recruit contestants and functionaries. Start planting those seeds now. Who is ready to be a contestant? And who's ready to be a functionary? I encourage everyone to compete at least once, but if this really isn't the right time, there are many ways to participate available. So as I mentioned before, in 2 weeks from tonight, I'll be hosting a webinar on Judge and Chief Judge training. So I'll be doing a deep dive on the roles and responsibilities of voting judges and chief judges. And I recommend the session for all potential judges, chief judges, contest chairs, and district officers, or anyone who wants to learn more about judging at contests. Thank you, Kitsy, for posting the link in the chat. Registration link. I am pausing to see if any final questions come in. And once again, thank you to all for joining, and I hope to see you at a District 4 contest this season.